everybody, welcome back. My name is Cassie, I'm the Evil Secret Ninja, and I talk about books and I review books on my channel. And today I am doing my November wrap-up. And I read 27 books in the month of November, which I guess is around the average for me. Of those, 10 of them were fantasy, 5 of them were science fiction, 1 was a cookbook, 4 were mangas, 3 were mystery thrillers, 1 was contemporary, 1 was a dark academia, 1 was nonfiction, and 1 was a classic. 20 of those were adult fiction, 5 of them were young adult, and 1 of them was middle grade, and then cookbook, I guess that's for everybody, so I kind of don't put that in a category of age group. 10 of them were physical books, 7 of them were ebooks, and 10 of them were audiobooks. So I had some really great reads this month, and I had some that kind of missed the mark. For overall, I enjoyed most of what I read. So I'm going to rank these like from my least favorite to my favorite, just like I do every month. And the first one, my least favorite book this month, was Why We Don't Die in Dreams by Debbie Zello. The premise of the book was decent. You know, you have a police officer who's investigating a murder, but he seems to be dreaming about the person that's murdering them or the victim who's telling him to save them from this serial killer. And it just missed the mark for me. I have no idea what. I just didn't like it. It wasn't. When I rate books, I rate them on a 10-point scale instead of a 5-point scale, so I gave this one 4 out of 10. I didn't absolutely hate it, but I really didn't like it. My next least favorite was Lord of Goblins, Volume 1, by Michiel Wetbrouck. And this was reincarnation gone wrong. So there was this guy that died, and it was kind of like a science fiction-y era where he's on like spaceships and stuff. So he dies, and he's reincarnated as a goblin slave. And I guess he's raising through the ranks and trying to start a rebellion with the goblins because he doesn't want to be a slave. It was okay. It just wasn't great. I gave it 5 out of 10 stars. The next book that I read was What I Lost by Alexandria Ballard. And this is a young adult contemporary about a girl with an eating disorder. She has anorexia. Basically, anorexia has taken over her life, and she has lost a whole lot because of it. I gave this like 5 out of 10 stars. I guess my problem with it was I didn't feel like it went far enough. If you're going to talk about anorexia, especially if you're going to talk about it with the age group that has a lot of problems with anorexia, I think you should delve a little deeper into the eating disorder. So it was fine, 5 out of 10. The next one, The Kingless Land by Ed Greenwood, and this is the first book in the Band of 4. This was a fantasy. I guess they're going on a heist, and so they go to this castle, and they're supposed to steal from this noblewoman who has a lot of jewels, and she catches them and says, you know what, how about if I just go with you, because I don't want to be here. My father's a horrible person, and I'm just going to leave. I mean, it wasn't like a horrible fantasy book. It was just okay. I gave that one 5.5 out of 10 stars. The next book that I finished in November was The Secret Next Door by Rebecca Taylor, and this was it was supposed to be a mystery thriller, but I don't think it did that very well. This was about a woman who moves into this rich neighborhood. She's not rich, she's more like middle class, and she's trying to fit in with all the rich socialites. There's a teenage boy that is murdered in the book. If that was supposed to be like a main theme in the book, it was more of an afterthought. And it was just okay. I gave this one 5.5 out of 10 stars. The next book that I read was called The Asylum by John Harwood. And this was about a woman wakes up in an insane asylum one day, and, well, she remembers who she is, but she doesn't remember the last few months of her life. And when she's trying to talk to them and say, like, hey, I have a family out there and everything, and here's their information, when they contact her family, apparently she's there. And it was okay. So I gave that one 6 out of 10 stars. The next book I read was called Bunny by Mona Awad. It's been a few days since I read it. I still am not sure how I feel about it. It's a dark academia. And of course it starts out pretty like most dark academias I've read. There's this girl that doesn't fit in. She's at this kind of elite school. She gets befriended by like the top notch at the school. What the heck? did I just read? Like, what is going on? It reads kind of like this person was doing drugs the whole time, is kind of crazy, and is kind of in this drug-induced fever dream. It was messed up. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure how to rate it, because I'm not sure, like, I didn't hate it. I don't say I loved it. I don't know what to think about it. I just kind of threw it. I think I gave it 6 out of 10 stars. The next book that I finished in November was Patternmaster by Octavia Butler, and this is the final 4th book in the Patternmaster series. It's kind of, the whole series is kind of a cross between science fiction and fantasy, where you have these, so the first 2 books follow these immortals who have this kind of strange breeding program going on, that they both have a type of magic, and they're trying to create children who have some of their abilities. And so they have this like strange breeding program going on. And then the 3rd book has, it's kind of the same idea, like this little strange breeding program going on. But this time there's this disease that came from outer space and has infected a portion of the population, and it's spreading, and the disease just wants to procreate and create more of them. And then the 4th book was kind of the final showdown between these 2 groups of their people. But so I gave this one 6.5 out of 10 stars. The next book was Cataclysm by James Hunter, and this is the first book in the Viridian Gate Online series. And this is a lit RPG, which I have to admit, like, isn't my favorite thing. But there's meteorite headed for Earth that's going to wipe out all of humanity, so everyone decides to download themselves into this video game, and that's how they're going to live out their existences in this video game. And so, like, they have, like, leveling up and stuff, which is really annoying. And it's basically like trying to read a video game. And it isn't something that I particularly like, but my kids have decided that they really like it. And so I kind of let them have some say in how it's rated. I think I would still give it like 6.5. The next one was Lodestar by Shannon Messenger, and this is the 5th book in The Keeper of the Lost Cities. Again, like, I'm liking the series, I'm liking the overall story. Like, everybody loves Sophie. I mean, I know that she's the main character and everything, but she certainly has, like, this little entourage of people who are just, like, falling over themselves and tripping over themselves, make her whatever they think she needs to be. And I guess, really the biggest problem I have is, you know, like, the elves believe in preservation of all animals and species, but they try to make all the animals vegan. And I would say, like, for people who are supposed to be so connected with nature, they should understand, like, that the world needs predators as much as it needs prey. Yeah. So I don't know, that bothers me that all the animals have to be vegan. So I gave that 8 out of 10 stars. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the story. There's just little things that are starting to bother me. The next book that I read was Heroes Die by Matthew Woodring Stover, and this is the first book in the Acts of Cain. And of course it has the kind of a really weird cover. This is kind of a science fiction, and there's kind of different planes of existence, and they found a way to travel between these planes. And they have these people they call actors who travel to this other plane of existence, do things over there, they kill people, they disrupt the government, and, you know, they're doing all these things. Then, like, their experiences are kind of downloaded, and people can purchase these and then have this experience themselves. So actually, I thought it was pretty good. It was a little crude, but I liked it, and I gave it 8.5 out of 10 stars. The next one that I read was The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and this is, I believe it's considered like the 3rd book in the Sherlock Holmes series. This is the collection of short stories. I won't say like I enjoyed all of them, but it was a lot of fun to read. You know, we have so many books and movies and stuff that are based off of Sherlock Holmes stuff. It's interesting to look at the original source material. And I gave that one 8.5 out of 10 stars. The next 2 books that I read it was an audiobook, but they had like the first 2 books in there. And that was Albion Lost and The Long March by Richard Fox. And this is books 1 and 2 of The Exiled Fleet. And this was a science fiction, I guess it's more like a battle science fiction, because it was basically, I would say there's like a planet, and it is attacked. It's kind of like a question whether or not like they're actually people or if they're aliens, or why this kind of advanced civilization has come and attacked them. Well, the royal family gets killed, all except for the 3-year-old child, and so they're trying to save the last heir. And these fleet people who are coming after them, who are attacking them, basically they're trying to take control of that area of space. So they keep chasing them, and and of course, like, we kind of find out who they are and what they're about. And yeah, so it was kind of a fun read. It was kind of a military science fiction space battle. It was fun. So I gave both of those 8.5 out of 10 stars. The next one that I read was Curstor's Fury by Jim Butcher, and this is the 3rd book in the Codex Alera series. It follows Tavi, and in this one he is the leader of the Legion, and he's fighting against invaders. And there's also like a political coup that goes on. Someone has decided they want to be in charge, and so they're fighting against the nobility. I gave this one 8.5 out of 10 stars. The next one that I read was The Crimson Campaign by Brian McClellan, and this is the 2nd book in the Powder Mage series. So this is a flintlock military fantasy where they snort gunpowder in order to make them better at shooting, and they tend to get addicted to it. So it's definitely like a drug for them. And I did like it. I like the depiction of the military when things aren't going very well and people are starving and they're still trying to complete their campaign. I presume that crimson was referring to the color of blood because it was quite bloody. And I enjoyed that one. I also gave it 8.5 out of 10 stars. The next one that I read was Attack on Titan Volume 1, and my kid has that one, so I have the physical copy, but my kid has it right now. And this was the first book in the Attack on Titan series, and it is by Isayama Hajime. Attack on Titan is a post-apocalyptics where these giant man-eating monsters have appeared, and there's people trying to fight them off, and basically they just go around eating people, and they had to build great big walls around their cities so that the Titans couldn't get in and eat everyone. It's been interesting. I certainly will continue this series. I liked it, and I gave that first one 9 out of 10 stars. The next one was an edited book. This was a nonfiction, For Crying Out Loud, Women's Poverty in the United States. It was edited by Diane Dujon and Anne Withorn. This is just about poverty. I really liked it. It was a lot of collection of essays about the experience of poverty with regards to women, and it kind of upset me a little bit because I realized that the systems that we have in place for poverty and stuff are really not designed to meet the needs of women in our society. And I gave that one 9 out of 10 stars. The next one that I finished was Morning Star by Pierce Brown, and this is the 3rd book in the Red Rising series. And this like the first trilogy kind of wraps it up. We follow a man who lives on Marge, and their society is coordinated by color. So we have the reds that are at the bottom, and they are the slaves, and we have a person who is a red, and then we have the golds who are at the top, and they run everything, and we have a red who infiltrates the golds in order to overthrow the society. And this last book kind of was the culmination, all his plans coming together. Does it work? Does it not? And what will the consequences be? So this was like the final showdown. And I gave that one 9.5 out of 10 stars. The next one was Shadowheart by Tad Williams. This is the 4th book in the Shadow March trilogy, which was supposed to be a trilogy, but the last book was too long, and so he had to split it into 2. And this is a big book. So this is also like the final showdown, the final battle. In this one, we follow a set of twins, Bryony and Barrick, and they are the rulers of South March. They've been trying to protect their kingdom from the Quar, who are the Fae who lost a battle to them centuries ago and are now trying to come and reclaim their land. And they're also fighting against the God King, who is, he's just a man, but he's trying to rule the world as he sees the world. So it's kind of the culmination, the final battle. I mean, this whole book is just that last battle, and it's such a nuanced, there's just so much going on. And I really enjoyed it, enjoyed the series. Would recommend, if you like fantasy and stuff, go ahead and pick up the series. And I gave that 9.5 out of 10 stars. The next one was the cookbook, and that was just 1,000 Mexican recipes. And I like this one because You know, like I like making Mexican food, and sometimes I feel like I'm always making the same thing. I'm always making enchiladas or tacos or something like that. But this one was really, had like a whole bunch of different things that I've never made before. And went through like all of it, like the herbs that they use and how to prepare chilies and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. Probably the only thing I didn't like is there weren't any pictures, but that's not like a big deal. And I gave that one 9.5 out of 10 stars. The next one was The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie, and this is the second book of the first Lost standalones. And this was about a 3-day battle. I just really liked the humor in it. When he's fighting and he swings his sword and he goes, whoa, where'd my arm go? Because someone had chopped off his arm. I probably shouldn't have, but I laughed. And I gave that one 9.5 out of 10 stars. The next one was The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. And that is the first book in the Laconis trilogy. And this is, I have to say, like, I really like this trope where it's like, this is after the battle, and these are the consequences of the uprising or anything like that. So there was an uprising, and the non-magic people rose up against the people with magic, and the non-magic people won. So now everyone who has magic is has to be controlled, and they are controlled magically. Like, they have tenets that they cannot break that with regard to their can and cannot use their magic against non-magic people. I really like this book, and I'm really excited to continue the series. And I gave that one 9.5 out of 10 stars. So the next 4 were like my favorites of the month. And it was really hard to pick like my favorites. So these were, I'm just going to put all of these in there. The first one was The Ship of Magic by Robbin Hobb. And this is the first book in the Live Ship Traders. And this follows a family who has what they call a live ship. So to have a live ship, 3 generations need to die on the ship, and then the ship becomes a living being. It's made out of this witch wood, which is extremely expensive, and it's kind of a mystery where it comes from. Basically, it can put them in debt for the rest of their lives, or it can save their family. It's got pirates and all sorts of fun stuff, and I thought the pacing was really great. So I'm really excited to continue the series, and I gave it 10 out of 10. And then the last 3, these were mangas, and they were the 3 in a series. And this was the conclusion of the Silent Voice series. I have 5, 6, and 7. And it is by Yoshitoki Oyama. This series is about a boy who bullied this girl because she could not hear in elementary school. And now in high school, they've kind of met up again. And he's trying to make up for the things that he's done. And it is so much more than just a bully redemption arc. There's so much goes on in here. And I think, for me personally, for the work that I do, or as a therapist, this is so important, coming to terms and to grips with the things that we've done in our lives that we are not proud of, trying to be better people, and trying to make up for that, but that the things that we did that we're not proud of still have immense consequences for the people in our lives. I gave all of those 10 out of 10. Really liked them. Really liked the whole series. It broke my heart, but I really liked it. So those are all the books that I read in the month of November. So if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.